Hey guys, it's been a while, hope you've been well. As you can see, I need a bit of a haircut now, but hopefully that's not too far away. So today we're going to make some nice, simple chocolate brownies. I'm not much of a baker myself, but it's something I've been wanting to master for a while now. And it's actually a really easy process, so let's get stuck into it. Yeah, so as you can see, quite a simple list of ingredients today. We've got 185 grams of butter chopped into small cubes, 200 grams of really good quality dark chocolate, so I'm using these 200 gram blocks of 70%, 3 eggs, about a handful of milk chocolate chunks and a handful of white chocolate chunks mixed together, so that's for sprinkling in towards the end. That's a cup and a third of caster sugar, and here we have 2/3 of a cup of plain flour and half a cup of cocoa powder sort of sifted together to get rid of any lumps. Okay, so I'm going to start with a bit of prep, and that involves lining my baking tin. So this is a standard 27cm baking tin. What I've done is just laid some tin foil on the bottom, and as you can see these bits coming off the side. They act as handles at the end, so it makes it easier to pull the brownie out of the tin. And I've just lined it, the base with a bit of baking paper. And I'm also going to preheat my oven to 180 degrees Celsius. Okay, now I'm going to start by melting the dark chocolate and the butter together. So what I've done is snapped all that dark chocolate into small chunks, put it in a bowl with the butter. I'm just going to microwave it until it melts into a nice liquid. Alternatively, you can do that fancy process where you melt it in a glass bowl over some boiling water, but I don't have time for that, and you probably don't either, so let's just use the quick method. So there we go, all nicely melted, and I'm just going to let that sit aside and cool. Okay, now we're getting to the serious stuff now. So what I've done is I've broken my 3 eggs into a mixing bowl, and I'm going to add all that sugar. And what you want to do now is so beat that mixture with a mixer on its highest speed until it turns really thick and creamy. This can take between 5 to 10 minutes, so just be really patient until you're there. So let's go. So I think we're pretty much there now. As you can see, it's a lot thicker than when I first started, nicely aerated. It's kind of expanded in volume as well, and the colour's a bit paler, and that's when you know it's done. So now what we're going to do is we're going to pour in that the chocolate that we melted earlier, and then sort of fold the two mixtures together. And you want to be really careful here. You don't want to stir it, you want to fold the two together. So what that means is I'm going to pour the chocolate in. And just use your spatula to make sure every last drop is in that bowl. Okay, so the reason we want to fold it instead of stirring it is because we want to retain all the air that's been sort of mixed into the egg mixture. So just get your spatula and go right down to the bottom and just sort of fold it over. Hopefully you can see that, but I'm just being really careful and gentle. Be as slow as you want, and just keep turning the bowl as you go, and fold those two mixtures together. And be careful not to over mix it, because once you sort of go beyond that point, there's no going back, literally. So just be gentle, be slow, and be patient. And what you should get towards the end is this, as you can see, this really nice marbled texture. So the two mixtures are one, but you can still sort of see a distinction, and it's got this quite nice marbled texture. So again, just being really gentle and folding that all in. Yeah, so hopefully you can see that really nice marbled texture there. And now on to the next step. Okay, now what we want to do is just sift that the flour and the cocoa mixture into the bowl again. So I'm just going to get a sieve and just sift it in to get rid of any lumps again. Cool, so again, just mix it in, being careful not to overdo it. So fold, being very gentle, and you want to do this until it's just mixed. Cool, so now we're gonna just sprinkle in the milk chocolate and the white chocolate. And then just fold it in one last time, again being very gentle. You just want to do it until it's sort of, you know, just incorporated into the mix. Okay, now we're just going to pour the mixture into the baking tin. So you can just use your spatula to, you know, make sure every bit's in there. It's smelling pretty incredible already, but we're going to be patient. And then just use your spatula to, you know, really push into the corners, make sure it's covering the whole tin. And just make sure the surface, the top is quite level as well. It's looking pretty good. So I'm just going to chuck that in the oven now for 25 minutes, which is perfect timing because my camera battery is about to die, so I'm going to recharge it as well. Alrighty, so it's been 25 minutes. I've just pulled the brownie out of the oven. As you can see, it's formed like a really nice crust, and I'm going to check it's done by giving it a little shake. So the middle shouldn't wobble. If it is, then just put it back for a few more minutes. But it's looking pretty solid, pretty stable. And as you can probably imagine, it's smelling pretty incredible now. But I'm just going to be a bit patient and not dig into it straight away. If you try cutting up the brownie while it's still warm, it's just going to fall apart. A bit like this here actually. So I'm going to leave it to cool until it's completely cold. So that'll take a few hours. So I will see you in a few hours. Okay, so welcome back. It's been a few hours and as you can see, the brownies are all done now. I've cut a few slices. You can see those chunks of white chocolate scattered here and there. And as I've said before, do wait until it's completely cold before you cut into it. It really does pay to be patient when you're making brownies. So let's do a taste test now. Okay, I actually just had some KFC and I'm not hungry at all, so I'm just going to have a little bit. So here goes. That is a really good brownie. Super soft inside. It's not too soft, not too hard, not too dry, not too moist. It's just like the perfect balance. And those little chunks of chocolates sort of scattered in within really, you know, adds a pop as well. And it's just an amazing brownie. Wow. So there we have it. Nice, simple chocolate brownie. Easy to make. If I can do it, then so can you. Make it for your next potluck or your office morning tea. Obviously once we're allowed to sort of work together again under level 2 or level 1 or whatever. Yeah, that's it for today. See ya.